Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and, well, a few days ago, the forums and the Battlefield 4 subreddit lit up like a Christmas tree, with people swarming over a mysterious headline of a, quote, veteran DOC, as tweeted by Tigger from DICE, of this supposedly phantom DOC for Battlefield 4 that no one knows anything about. Well, by now, of course, every big Battlefield channel has made some sort of a speculator video, speculatory video on this development, and it's somewhat of a piece of hot news right now, and all of them are happily jumping on this speculatory bandwagon while also making a bit of cash from their video upload. But I really don't see what the big fuss is all about. In fact, I'm not giving into this tweet even a little bit, and I'm not really giving it any consideration. Apparently, it was actually tweeted by Tigger that, quote, "This is not a promise, it's just to gauge interest," which apparently the whole thing jumped off before that from a tweet from Westy saying basically that none of the Battlefield 4 maps so far thrill him, and veteran maps would mean a lot if added to Battlefield 4. And I mean, it's true that Battlefield 4 map design isn't really a strong point in the game, so understandably people would like to see some popular maps make a comeback, but there's just so many things to consider here. In fact, before anyone even starts talking maps or the new DOC, or even if it will be free or not, the first thing that you should consider, and they probably do, is probably the developer's willingness to even make a DOC. I mean, this was, probability not planned as far as the whole DOC lineup goes, and, transferring older maps from the likes of Battlefield 3 to new destructibility environment of Battlefield 4 would probably take a while, more if DICE wants it to work well, which I guess, going by the past experience, is a moot point. But here you gotta also consider a few other things, which I'm guessing crossed their minds a few times. Adding more maps from Battlefield 3, for example, would be a cool thing, because some people, me included, really loved several maps in Battlefield 3. Maps like Grand Bazaar, maybe Epicenter, Sharky, my favorite map from Strike at Karkand, even Death Valley, and even No Shark Canals. I mean, say what you will, but Nose Hair Canals was the ubiquitous TDM map. It was fun as shit, fast, small, and just stupid amounts of ridiculousness all around, when you don't actually want to PTFO, but just shoot something after a long day, mindlessly getting a healthy release for that rage. I know I do. Oh, and let's not forget that even with Frostbite 2, Grand Bazaar had the most incredible destruction of crumbling walls that could be dropped onto people below in several places of the map, so a huge amount of fun that. Another big thing I think to consider is that the second-hand assault DOC for Battlefield 4 was actually a flop in many respects, and people really didn't like it all too much. Firstly, because I think the maps chosen for it weren't all that favorite to begin with. I mean, who the hell needs a nearly identical Operation Metro on the Frostbite 3 engine? So what if the damn elevators work and the tunnels collapse into spots. It's still a crappy map, you know, and I was never fond of Operation Firestorm to begin with. In fact, I'm sure if asked, the players would vote Sand Crossing or Grand Bazaar over it in a second. And another thing that severely hurt the DLC coming out of the gate was the crippling glitches and bugs. I mean, you remember the mass second-hand assault was on release, right? Rubber banding that took to new, previously unseen heights. Players would spawn without weapons. The dust storm on Oman would completely ruin the connection and make the lag spike to dial up levels. Everything went to shit. So, I mean, old maps masked as new maps, again no less, might bring another level of hate to and letter bombs to DICE, but, you know, then again, if the whipping frenzy of the community continues and actually jumps off, and DICE actually does revamp 2 or 3 maps from Battlefield 3, and if they were to do it well, and if they were to bring back Grand Bazaar, say, and if they were to make the DLC free, maybe, you know, which I'm sure they won't, but I can dream, can't I? Well, in that case, you know, they'd have a certified winner on their hands. On the other hand, knowing DICE, I'm sure that they'd find a few ways to fuck it up completely. Also, you can't really please everyone, so people will not like it even if it does get released, which, you know, honestly, I think it should. You know, Battlefield players have been severely soured on the experience by the piece of caca that Battlefield 4 is even a year into its cycle, into its life cycle. And, you know, other people want older maps to be included in the veteran DLC, like Battlefield 2 maps or Bad Company 2 maps, which admittedly some were awesome, but reworking them in the new engine, I'm sure would take a very long time, and making them bug-free would take even longer. So even if this thing does get released, I'm sure we're bound to see maps no older than Battlefield 3. Don't get me wrong though, some Battlefield 3 maps were instant classics. So leave me a comment, guys. Tell me what maps you think should be remade in Battlefield 4, and should this DLC even happen at all. And as always, thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.